The waves relentlessly pounded the shoreline of the secluded Caribbean beach, producing a rhythmic melody that seemed to call out to the young travelers. The sun's waning light cast a shimmering golden hue across the ocean's horizon, illuminating the restless waves as they crashed against the shore. The travelers had been warned of the bull sharks that swam in these waters, but they paid no heed to the rumors. They were fearless and driven by the promise of an adventure that would be etched in their memories forever. The thrill of the unknown was a siren's call, luring them towards the ocean's edge. Their hearts pounded excitedly, and nothing could deter them from pursuing excitement and danger. Within the group's adventurers, there was a young woman named Emily. Her carefree and impulsive nature made her a favorite among the group. Emily lived for the thrill of the moment and was always eager to show off her bravery. She embodied risk-taking, often going to great lengths to impress her friends. As the group set up camp, Emily's thoughts immediately turned to the vast expanse of the ocean, and she felt an irresistible urge to dive in. The anticipation of the unknown filled Emily's heart as she made her way to the water's edge. The cool Caribbean breeze played with her hair, and the salty scent of the ocean filled her nostrils. The waves gently lapped at her toes, beckoning her to dive into their depths. Emily's heart raced excitedly as she took her first steps into the ocean. The warm water engulfing her body was exhilarating, and she felt truly alive. Emily's heart raced as she swam further out to the ocean. She felt invincible, as if nothing could stop her. But as she gazed down into the depths below, she noticed a group of dark shadows gliding gracefully through the water. The shape of their fins and the cold, dead eyes staring back at her made her heart beat. It took a moment for her to realize what they were, but as they drew closer, she knew the truth. Bull sharks. The rumors she had heard about these deadly predators came flooding back to her, but instead of fear, Emily felt a sense of fascination. She had never seen a bull shark before, and the adrenaline rush of the moment drove her closer to the pack. The glint of their razor-sharp teeth was mesmerizing, and she couldn't resist the urge to get closer. Emily's hand trembled as she reached for her phone, the desire to capture the perfect shot taking over her. With the bull shark swimming so close, it would be the perfect opportunity to impress her friends with a breathtaking picture. She tried to steady her breathing, careful not to startle the sharks, as she extended her arm to take the photo. But little did she know that she was putting herself in grave danger. Emily's body went rigid as the shark suddenly lunged towards her. She could feel the force of the water as the predator rapidly closed in, its jaws agape and revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. Panic surged through Emily's veins, and she held her breath, not daring to move. Emily's fascination quickly turned to terror as the bull shark circled around her. She could see every detail of its body, the rough, gray skin, the powerful tail propelling it forward, the rows of teeth waiting to tear her apart. Despite her fear, she couldn't help but feel a strange sense of wonder at the creature's beauty. But that feeling quickly dissipated as she realized the danger she was in. Emily's heart raced as the bull shark pack closed on her. She could feel their hot breath on her skin and smell the metallic scent of blood and sea salt. Their dark, unblinking eyes locked on hers, and she knew she was in trouble. She kicked her legs frantically, trying to swim away, but the sharks were too fast. They circled around her, their fins cutting through the water rapidly. Emily's mind raced as she struggled to devise a plan, but her thoughts were jumbled and panicked. She could feel the water churn around her as the sharks closed in for the kill. As Emily struggled to escape the impending attack, her screams echoed across the deserted beach. Her heart pounded in her chest, and her lungs burned as she gasped for air. The sharks had clamped onto her limbs, pulling her down with each passing moment. Emily could feel the rough texture of their skin against her skin, and the searing pain of their teeth sinking into her flesh. The salt water stung her eyes, making it difficult to see as she fought for her life. As the sharks pulled her deeper into the ocean, Emily realized the gravity of the situation. She was surrounded by these relentless predators, and no one was around to save her. Her friends on the shore heard her cries and rushed to the water's edge. They could see the sharks circling, their fins cutting through the water. They called out to Emily, but there was no response. The water turned red with blood as the sharks ripped her apart. The group was in shock. They had never seen anything like it before. They called the Coast Guard, who arrived shortly after. The sharks had disappeared into the depths, leaving behind only a trail of blood. The Coast Guard searched for hours, but could not find Emily's body. The rest of the travelers were traumatized by the incident. They had come to the Caribbean looking for adventure, but found something far more terrifying. They vowed never to take unnecessary risk again, realizing that the ocean is dangerous. Sarah and Jake couldn't wait to begin their thrilling expedition into the Pacific Ocean, off the coast of Hawaii. As they set out, the bright sun sparkled on the tranquil water, luring them in with its gentle waves. With their hearts racing and adrenaline pumping, they were ready to uncover the mysteries of the powerful and mysterious sharks that prowled these waters. Every detail of their gear had been meticulously checked and double-checked to ensure their safety, and they were eager to put it to the test. Their eyes locked onto the deep blue sea, searching for any signs of their elusive prey. As they drifted further and further from the safety of the shore, a sense of unease crept over them. They knew the dangers of the deep, but their excitement overpowered any fear. They tried to tag as many sharks as possible, and nothing would stand in their way. As they submerged themselves into the cool, clear water, Sarah's heart pounded excitedly as she spotted that magnificent oceanic white-tipped shark gliding effortlessly through the depths. With a flick of its powerful tail, it disappeared into the blue expanse before them. Without hesitation, Sarah signaled Jake to follow, but Jake signaled Sarah to stop the pursuit. Jake felt unease emanating from the shark's erratic behavior. Jake thought Sarah obliged his instruction to return to the boat, but Sarah was determined to get closer to the shark. The shark's sleek body glistened in the sun's rays, and Sarah was entranced by its deadly grace. The closer she got, the more she could feel the primal energy emanating from the predator. Jake frantically waved his arms, signaling Sarah to return to the boat's safety. But Sarah was entranced by the shark's hypnotic movements, lost in the wild beauty of the predator. Her fascination with the creature proved to be a fatal mistake. The shark launched toward Sarah with lightning-fast speed, its jaws gaping wide. Before she could scream, the predator clamped down hard on her leg, yanking her beneath the water's surface. The force of the bite was like nothing Sarah had ever experienced before. The shark's teeth sliced through her wetsuit, and she could feel the piercing pain in her leg, signaling the beginning of a terrifying fight for survival. As the water grew murky and dark, Sarah struggled to break free from the powerful grip of the shark's jaws. But the predator was too strong, its hold unrelenting. It dragged her deeper and deeper into the abyss, and Sarah knew that her chances of survival were slim at best. Her heart racing, her lungs burning, she fought with all of her might against the relentless force that threatened to claim her life. Jake saw the horrifying scene take place before his eyes. He knew he had to act fast if he intended to save Sarah. Jake's heart pounded with fear and adrenaline as he swam closer to the attack scene. The water was murky and filled with bubbles, making it difficult to see what was happening. He could hear Sarah's muffled screams and knew that time was running out. He pushed himself harder, his arms and legs pumping with all the strength he could muster. As he got closer, he saw the full horror of the situation. The shark's razor-sharp teeth were dug deep into Sarah's mangled leg, and blood was gushing like a river. She fought with all her might, but the predator's grip was too strong. Jake knew he had to act fast, or Sarah would be lost forever. Without hesitation, he lunged at the shark, grabbing its dorsal fin with all his might. The shark thrashed and jerked, trying to shake Jake off, but he held tight. He could feel the immense power of the predator beneath him, and his heart pounded in his chest as he struggled to keep his grip. Finally, with a burst of strength, Jake hit the shark's snout, shocking it with a jolt of pain, forcing its mouth open and freeing Sarah's leg. The shark recoiled and temporarily retreated to the depths of the sea. Jake and Sarah took this opportunity and immediately approached the waiting boat, leaving a trail of blood in their wake. Sarah's leg was gruesome, blood gushing out from the wound and staining the water around them. With every move, Sarah could feel the pain throbbing through her entire body, making lifting her leg hard. But Jake knew he couldn't waste any time. He quickly took out his first aid kit and tied a tourniquet tightly around Sarah's leg, hoping to stem the bleeding. The tension in the air was palpable as the shark continued to circle the boat, waiting for its chance to attack again. Every breath was a struggle, and Sarah could feel her heart pounding against her chest as she struggled to stay conscious. The sound of the shark's fins slicing through the water sent shivers down their spines, and they knew they had to act quickly to return to shore. As they sped back to shore, Sarah felt relieved knowing she had survived a deadly attack by one of the ocean's most notorious predators. She couldn't stop thinking about the shark and how close she came to losing her life. When they arrived back on land, Sarah was rushed to the hospital, receiving medical attention for her wounds. She knew she would never forget the experience and always had a newfound respect for the power of the ocean and its inhabitants. From that day on, Sarah and Jake continued their research on shark behavior, but this time, they made sure to always be aware of their surroundings and respect the power of these magnificent creatures. Diana's heart raced as she gulped out a lungful of salty air, trying to quell the mounting unease that twisted her stomach into knots. The yacht bobbed and weaved with the lapping waves, as if daring her to succumb to the sea's unpredictable whims. The sun's fiery descent cast an amber light over the teak deck, illuminating the faces of the revelers with a warm, inviting glow. Diana could hear the laughter and music drifting in the breeze, a siren song tempting her to join the merrymaking. But as much as she longed to let loose and celebrate her friend's nuptials, the water beneath her feet stirred a primal fear deep within her. Diana finally let herself unwind, basking in the warm glow of camaraderie and good cheer. The savory aroma of succulent cuisine mingled with a heady scent of alcohol, creating a heady elixir that lifted her spirits higher with each sip. The lapping of the waves against the hull of the yacht provided a piece of soothing background music, lulling her into a sense of calm. But just as she settled into her blissful state, the world turned upside down. A deafening crash shook the vessel violently, sending Diana hurtling towards the edge. The floor heaved beneath her feet. Before she knew it, she was plunging into a frigid abyss. The icy waters engulfed her, and she felt her breath leave her in a gasp. A terrifying presence became known as she thrashed around disoriented and panicking. In the inky blackness, she saw it. A monstrous shape materialized from the depths. A sleek, massive great white shark with rows of razor-sharp teeth glinting in the pale moonlight. It circled around her, a predator sizing its prey with cold, calculating eyes. Diana's heart pounded with terror as she struggled to propel herself towards the yacht, her limbs flailing wildly in the inky depths. But her desperate bid for survival was thwarted by the sinewy shadow that streaked towards her with deadly speed. The great white shark surged in front of her, cutting off her escape with the sheer power of its presence. Diana's throat tightened with a primal fear that threatened to choke her as she spun around and bolted in the opposite direction. She could hear the thump of her own heart echoing in her ears, mingled with the sound of the shark's relentless pursuit. The predator's jaws loomed ever closer, a glimmering row of razor-sharp teeth reflecting the pale moonlight in a sinister dream. Diana's mind raced with frantic thoughts, knowing she had to outsmart the shark to survive. Diana's survival instincts kicked into overdrive, compelling her to fight back against the monstrous creature that had threatened to claim her life. She punched the shark with a flurry of desperate blows, lashing out with her fists and feet to fend off the relentless predator. But the more she fought, the more the shark's aggression grew, fueled by the primal instinct to hunt and kill. Then, with lightning speed, the shark lunged forward and sank its razor-sharp teeth into Diana's arm, severing it from her body in a sickening crunch. Diana's anguished scream echoed through the night, mingling with the sound of the churning waves and the roar of her predatory beast. Her blood stained the water a deep crimson, a macabre dance of life and death unfolding in the inky depths. Her friends watched in mute horror, their eyes wide with disbelief and terror. They were powerless to intervene, to save their beloved friend from the jaws of the ruthless predator. Diana's fate hung in the balance, a cruel reminder of the savage, unforgiving nature of the sea. The captain tried to shoot the shark with a harpoon, but it was useless. The shark was determined to prey on Diana. After biting off her arm, the shark retreated temporarily to the depths of the sea, with Diana's severed limb. Diana was in agony, her blood mixing with the cold, salty water. She tried to swim back to the boat, but her injury made it impossible to move quickly. She was getting closer to the life buoy thrown by her friends, and as it was almost within reach, the shark launched another attack from the bottom of the sea, devouring the lower half of Diana's body. The attack was so sudden and powerful that the shark sprang out of the water with Diana in its mouth. The upper half of her lifeless body, from her torso to her head, was visible as the crew saw the terror on Diana's face. Then, as suddenly as it had attacked, the shark made a massive splash as it returned to the water, dragging Diana to the depths of the sea. And suddenly, a deafening silence engulfed the sea. All that was left was a pool of blood and churning water as the great white shark tore Diana limb from limb, devouring her at the bottom of the ocean. All the people on the yacht were in shock. They reported the incident to the local authorities upon reaching dry land. In response, a thorough search was conducted, but no remains of Diana ever surfaced. The tragic incident has shaken everyone at the wedding party, and the memory of Diana's horrifying death haunted them for years to come. Once a beautiful and serene backdrop to their celebration, the ocean had become a terrifying reminder of the dangers that lurk beneath the surface.